Coach Manny Nowak on Success 10, 5, 3, 1. Hello, it's Coach Manny Nowak. Success coaching for a better world. Great to be with you. I've given myself away, you know, now that I'm a Gators fan. And it's a tough season for the Gators, but we'll get there later. Today I want to talk about success. And I want to talk about a simple formula called 10, 5, 3, 1. Now what the heck does that mean? Well, let me ask you, where are you going to be 10 years from now? I mean, all kidding aside, all thinking aside, have you thought about where am I going to be 10 years from now? That's where the 10 comes in, right? And you know what? There's my marker. Sorry about that. 10 years from now, where am I going to be? 10 years from now, can you take some time? As we get near the end of the year here, we got about a week left. What I want you to do is I want you in the next week to take some time and really write down in detail, where is it you're going to be 10 years from now? Where are you going to be living? What are you going to be doing? What's your business look like? What does your life look like? What do you look like financially? Write the picture. 10 years from now, what does that look like? If you can get a clean focus on that, then the rest of this becomes real simple. Get a clear focus. And you know what? Most people know that. They know where they want to be. And how much isn't accomplishable in 10 years? I think in 10 years today, you can do almost anything. So take a moment and think, 10 years from now, what does it look like? And I mean, write it down. You know how I feel about it. Write it down. Okay, so that's where the 10 comes from. Now, based on that, where and what do you have to have done 5 years from now? In other words, if this is where you're going to be 10 years from now, if 10 years from now you're going to be President of the United States, and don't say that can't be done, because who heard of Obama 10 years ago? Think about it. Think about some of the people who have become president, and think about 10 years before. Had anybody heard of most of those people? So, if that's your goal, 10 years from now, I want to be president of my company. 10 years from now, I want to own one of the fastest growing software development companies in the world. 10 years from now, I want to own a gaming company that's doing $1 billion. Whatever it is. If that's where you want to be 10 years from now, where do you have to be in 5 years? And again, I want you to write down for me, in 5 years, this is where I have to be if I'm going there. You know, it's so simple when we think about it in school, right? I mean, let's look at one of the great, hardest things to accomplish. Let's say I want to be a surgeon. And I know in 10 years, I'm a sophomore or a junior in college. I know I can look out 10 years and say, 10 years from now, I want to be a qualified surgeon. 5 years from now, I have to be what? I have to be out of medical school, right? 3 years from now, I have to be where? And so we'll get to the 3 in a minute. Point is, I'm trying to tell you, where do you want to be 5 years from now? If you want to be president in 10 years, 5 years from now, where do you have to be? Do you have to be a vice president? Do you have to be a senator? If 10 years from now you want to be running the company, where do you have to be 5 years from now? What do you have to be on the path to getting where you want to? And then we get even more details. We ask, where do you want to be 3 years from now? Based on the 10-year, the 3-year, 5-year, now, where is it in 3 years that you have to be. I know you just got to take a few minutes and think about this. Think about it, because we as Americans, you know, the rest of the world is much more long-term focused than we are. We are so short-term focused. What am I having for dinner tonight? Where am I going this month? What vacation am I going to take this month? Those are the things that we think about. But do we ever really think about the phone ringing during a recording session? Probably not. But we can turn that off. I'm sorry about that interruption. But the point I'm trying to make here is, where are you going to be 3 years from now in order to get to where you want to be 5 years from now, in order to get to where you want to be 10 years from now? It all falls together. And as Americans, we really need to start thinking about things that way. And as success people, we really need to start thinking this way. Now, this is where the prize now. Here's the prize. And the prize is very simply, if I know where I want to be 10 years from now, and I know where I have to be 5 years from now to get there, and I know where I need to be 3 years from now to get to the 5, to get to the 10. Wow. How easy and simple is it for me to figure out what I need to do this year to get to the 3-year plan? And that's the key when I talk here. This is where your goals, your tactics, and all that exist. What is it I'm going to do this year? Always looking 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years out. And whatever I'm doing this year, if it's not totally focused and moving towards those goals, then I shouldn't be doing it. Should I? Wow. That's what I want you to think about. It's Coach Manny. I'm always trying to move you to a better world. I'm always trying to get you to success. You can get there. And when you start thinking about these things and your mind starts opening up, wow. You know, 10 years from now, I want to be living in what I consider probably one of my favorite places in the world, La Jolla, California, right outside of San Diego on the water. Okay, if that's my goal, where do I have to be 5 years from now in order to get there? Where do I have to be 3 years from now? Where do I have to be a year from now? If one of my goals is 10 years from now, I want to run a very super big successful company that produces success material that employs all my children and their spouses. Where do I have to be 5 years from now? 3 years from now? And what do I have to do this year to make that happen? Success is just a matter of plan and execution. There's the website. There's the number. Coach Manny, always here to help you. Sorry if you don't like the Gators. I know there's many people out there. We're having a tough season. Come on. Think about this. I want you to play this again. I want you to watch it again and again until you start moving. In the next year, we're going to really work on some top-notch success stuff. But it starts here. This is Coach Manny saying, have